At the end, collect them, or if you need to send them in later, she'll disclose that, and then I can brief you on that later on into this program. But thank you. I will turn the time over to John Pearson, who will open up the meeting as the incident commander, and then we'll go from there.
Good morning. As Wadena said, I'm John Pearson, the incident commander for the Southwest area, Type 1 Team, Team 2. Doc update, Shiuris Day, John Pearson, Namtashili, Kuai Ba, Cedar Fire. Anywhere we go in the nation, you know, one of our jobs is to build relationships with our communities that we're involved with. So I'm trying to learn some culture for the White Mountain Apache tribe, as well as, you know, the affected communities beyond the fire. So we got mobilized here on the 15th of June and took the fire on the 16th of June in the evening, around 1800. That time it was a significant wind event fire, driving towards the communities with the values at risk, with Shoalo, Pinetop, Lakeside, Honda, McNary, other values on the tribal lands associated with natural resources, primarily timber sales, special areas, etc. You know, yesterday was a significant event, as we all can see by the firestorm that occurred, with the instability that we had in our atmosphere and weather conditions. You know, pretty much all day long we saw significant fire growth. Prior to yesterday, the fire was approximately 13,000 acres. As of last night, the fire basically doubled, with the primary movement to the southern area near Cedar Creek on White Mountain Apache tribal lands. So, you know, currently that's about 26,000 acres. We still have active fire out there, still have major concerns, but we're making get some progress. We had to basically disengage folks yesterday because my #1 top priority is the folks that are out there on the fire line, and they need to be safe. They need to go home every night or come back to camp every night so that they can get refreshed and do their jobs. More importantly, we all have families, significant others, and that's the most important part for me as the incident commander for this team. So with that, you know, I think I'm going to turn it over to Rick Miller, our operations chief. He has, you know, he's one of our main operational chiefs that, you know, they put the plan together, they coordinate the resources out there on the ground for me and my deputy Pruitt Small, based on our leader's intent from the agency that we're working for. You know, Fort Apache agency is who brought us here. I can't say if I'm glad to be here, but I'm glad to be here to help. You know, that's my job, is to help in these types of times. So with that, Rick Miller is going to provide an operational briefing on what basically occurred yesterday, and then what our current plans are today, and what folks out there on the ground are trying to accomplish. So with that, thank you.
Okay, good morning, Rick Miller, Operations Section Chief, and what I'm going to really give you a good idea of what transpired yesterday and through the night, and what we're doing today, and kind of the future plans that we're looking at this point. First off, I want to apologize for y'all in the back. I'm sure you're not going to be able to see this map up here, so I'm going to probably speak in pretty general terms, and I'll be available afterwards if folks want to come up and I can talk more specific about some of this. So first off, yesterday we had a northwest wind all day, and the fire burned to the south to the tune of about 6.5 miles. So that's a pretty significant event that transpired yesterday. And that continued into the night. The fire was actively burning until about 2 o'clock in the morning last night, and that's really pushed the fire down towards Cedar, the little communities in Cedar Creek there. So that sets the stage for the largest amount of growth that we've experienced to date on this fire. And as John alluded to yesterday, with that kind of fire activity, we pretty much had to move people out of the way yesterday. We did along the north end of the fire. We still stayed engaged. We made sure that we held the lines that we had already put effort into, so to keep the fire from moving any further to the north. But on the southeast sides, we had to pull everyone out of the way. So fire kind of just did what it was going to do yesterday. Going into the late afternoon, when things started to moderate a little bit, we had people out looking for contingency stuff. We did take some action last night that I want to talk about right up in this area right here. There's a Fott Ridge, if any are familiar with that area. That was looking like a weak spot in our line after yesterday's events, and so we did some actions in there last night to keep the fire from moving to the north and east today or tomorrow with the south winds. But the majority of our focus last night and even today is down on the southern end around the Cedar Creek communities and over towards the Highway 60-73 junction area to make sure that we're protecting the community of Carrizo in that corner down there. And then as well on the eastern side, there's a lot of country out on the eastern side of this that the fire could grow in the next several days or even week or so if we're not really out ahead of it on that eastern side, and that there's a lot of effort going into that as well today. With the fire activity, we've had to back off a little bit farther than we did the other day. We were pretty close to the fire for the first several days. We were within a mile and a half of the main fire's edge. We're probably going to back off to 2.5 to 3 miles or maybe even farther to make sure that we're in the right spot, that we have enough time that we can react appropriately to how the fire is burning as we go into the next several days. So as a point of note, we were monitoring the fire as it was burning south towards the communities there in Cedar Creek last night, and we're in contact with the tribal police, and we had that communication about when and where we needed to trigger a pre-evac for those folks there. That did occur this morning, and we are communicating with them and making sure that we have the right action plan in place as we go forward through today and for that area. Thank you. And once again, I'll be available for some more specific actions up here afterwards if you guys are curious. Thank you.
Okay, at this time, I'll turn the time over to Candy Lupe of the Bureau of Indian Affairs Agency. But first of all, I want to introduce a very important person. This person has been by my side since this fire started. We've gotten very little sleep, but we're doing what we can to provide public information to you as public information officers for the White Mountain Apache Tribe. And that's my counterpart, Jerome Casey. He serves as District 4 Tribal Council, and he's also the public information officer. Jerome, thank you. And I'll turn the time over to Candy at this time.
Good morning. My name is Candy Lupe. I work for the Bureau of Indian Affairs, Fort Apache Agency Fire Management. I serve as the agency's public information officer, and so many folks have probably been getting emails from me previously, so now you can connect a name with the face. I think I've been getting that a lot. But I'd like to acknowledge our superintendent with BIA, Fort Apache Agency, Nona Techawina. She's here, so if Nona, you can stand. I just wanted to acknowledge her. We also have our BIA, Fort Apache Agency Fire Management Officer, Thomas Skinner. If you could please stand. And so those are my boss. So I have to acknowledge them. But I'd like to thank all of you for coming, and I'm just overwhelmed with the community here. We have so much, here on the mountain, we're all one community. And when it comes to times in need, we all come together. We share this community here in the Great White Mountains, and we're all very proud of, this beautiful land that we live on. And so I'm really thankful that you are all here to get the information. There's a lot of times there's this misinformation that goes out, but I believe that the John Pearson's Type 1 Incident Management Team has done an outstanding job in ensuring that information is going out. And I know sometimes people, we all want information at the top of our hand. And, information comes as we get it from the team, and it is disseminated in a timely manner. And as soon as we get new information, as new information develops, then that it goes out to the community, the public, and the media. So I just wanted to emphasize that. I wanted also Orlando Carroll, who is also with the BIA, Fort Apache Agency. He is serving as our resource advisor here on the Cedar fire incident. So if Orlando could make his way up, I really wanted him to emphasize on some of the fuels treatment that has been done on the Fort Apache Indian Reservation in conjunction with the White Mountain Apache tribe, and how that these field treatments are assisting in this fire, in the fire here on the Cedar fire. So Orlando?
Thank you, Candy. I want to thank everybody that's here today to participate in this public session. We're all here to seek information on the Cedar fire. And I know that my fellow tribal members who are in the crowd are also strongly interested in what is happening. As Candy said, in the past, BIA Forest Management and Tribal Forestry have conducted many forest management activities on the land that Cedar fire is burning on. So on the north side of the Cedar fire is the community of Forestville, and in that Forestville region up to the 300 road that's on U.S. Forest Service land, there's been extensive fields management treatments. Prior to those fields management treatments, we conducted a timber sale called the corduroy timber sale, where I think we harvested on something like 20,000 acres. And so when you look at history in the area, that was very helpful in the progression of that fire to the north. And so many thousands of acres have been treated on the Fort Apache Indian Reservation. I think in many ways, that has helped control that northern portion of the fire. In no way this fire is controlled or contained, but they're working on it. And another thing that I've been asked to do on this fire is to serve as one of the resource advisors. There's 3 of us, 2 from the tribe and myself from the Bureau of Indian Affairs. And it's a big responsibility, working with the Type 1 Incident Management Team. I see John Pearson and his staff have been very good to work with, and they have listened to our concerns and issues regarding potential impacts on cultural and natural resources. There are many cultural and natural resources throughout the area, and so it's important that we have advisors keeping track of those type of things within the fire region, and so we get ahead at times to identify them and then seek potential ways to help protect those. And the team has been very good at helping us in that way. And so I want to thank IC Pearson and his staff for the job that they're doing for us. And I believe that, there's other types of activities that have happened adjacent to the fire or within the fire. There was also timber stand improvement projects that were done. And whether they help to slow down the fire, we don't know yet. We haven't had the opportunity to go evaluate. And so, it's important for us to share this kind of information with the public. Thank you again very much, and I'll turn the time back to Wendina.
Okay, moving right along, I just want to explain a little bit of something, if you'll allow me, to our Apache listeners right now. And I'm going to have to speak Apache, so I'll only be a minute or two, so bear with me. Nohi Tafaka Sa'ante, Ira Lutza'in, KNB, 88.1 FM, di Hao Di, Bikaro, Masjida Araflint, Edi Kong Hao Tohi, KNB, Judel, Anati, Masjida Aral, Eko, Honda, Casino, Conference Room, Yu, Masjida Araslan, Di of Dei, Cedar Creek, Yudan, Othini, Hatoan Shakuroha, Azara, Danosti, Darosti, Dida that's been pre-evacuation Anohedazala, Honda McNary, Da Beliana, Dico Bedochi, Wanti Banexteni, Awa A, Dico Azaila, Nostida, Ansihua A, Go Adishti, Di As Bicaro, Canon Beads, Ayo, Live Remote, La Nostida, Ashland, Jerome Casey, Anna. Thank you. And as we move along the program, I'm going to introduce Adam Wolf, who is with our Navajo County Communications Manager. And after that, we'll hear a brief introduction from our Vice Chairman, who is to my left here. And then after that, we will go into questions. And Gerald Altaha here will be the microphone guy, and he represents District 2. He'll be passing out the microphone. You can ask your questions to the Incident Management Team or the Bureau of Indian Affairs personnel. Whatever you want to ask, we're here for you. So thank you, Adam.
Thank you, Glendina, and thank you for everyone who came out today. We really do appreciate your desire to get information, and we're doing all we can to keep you up to date and informed about what is going on. As the previous PIOs have stated, when we get information, we get it out as quickly as we can. We understand that sometimes we don't have the information as quickly as you want, but please bear with us. We are doing all we can to get that information to you. From the Navajo County Emergency Management perspective, we've been doing a few different things in conjunction with the White Mountain Apache Tribe, as well as the Type 1 team and all the agencies we do have here. We've been coordinating a lot for potential evacuation sites, transportation for people who may need it. We run that through our Emergency Operations Center. So as was updated, in the Cedar Fire information pamphlets you have, it is not the Round Valley Dome if potential evacuations do occur for Cedar Creek. It will be Eager Middle School, which is at 126 West 2nd Street in Eager. The other update we have for evacuation areas potentially is if people get evacuated north, we are changing from Snowflake to Holbrook. So that evacuation site will be in Holbrook, but again, cannot stress this enough, we are in pre-evacuation only in Cedar Creek, and we are in pre-evacuation only in Show Low, Pine Top Lakeside, McNary, and Honda. And the reason we are still in pre-evacuation in these areas is, as was explained, this fire still presents a significant threat to those communities. So we are asking that you stay alert, you stay prepared. The wildfire has shown that it can really change and be sporadic. So please stay prepared. It's hard to predict where this fire will go. So it is very important that you do stay prepared in case that evacuation does occur. If it does, we will do all we can to provide the services you need, and we of course will keep you well informed if that evacuation notice does have to come. Please keep in mind we are doing all we can to protect you. You are the most important resource we have. We want to protect your property, we want to protect your homes, we want to save as much of the forest as we can. But our number one priority is safety for you, for the fire crews, and for everyone in this community. For many of us, this is our home too, so we are concerned. We are moving forward, we are working together as a group to do everything we can. One other just public service notice, we have had some groups arise that are potential scammers or non-affiliated services asking for donations, asking for things like that. At this time, we are not asking for volunteers, we are not asking for donations. If you have a group saying, we're with the Red Cross, we want these donations, that's not official right now. If that changes, we will let you know. But as of right now, we are not asking for volunteers or any more donations. And that's all I have from Napa County.
Excuse me. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
As Vice Chairman of the White Mountain Apache Tribe, I thank you all for being here. Earlier, we talked a lot about the safety and health of all people here on the White Mountains. That's important. I want to thank all the Type 1 crews. They're doing a very good job. I'd like to thank our tribal organizations, our tribal public relations officers, Casey and Gatewood, for really stepping up and keeping the public informed. Most importantly, we all want the fire to be immediately doused, but unfortunately that's not so. It will take some time, and I think it'd be behoove of all of us here to all be one, make sure that public relations, the media, make sure that everything is official from our tribal public relations officer, also from our Bureau of Indian Affairs public relations officer, and also from our Type 1 public relations office. I think once them three come together and become one, then everything will become official. I urge every one of us in here to continue to pray for our land, our people, and most importantly for our elder, both here on the reservation and off the reservation. With that in mind, I'd like to thank Wendina again for stepping up again, also with Jerome. And I want all my tribal council, can you guys all please stand up? The tribal council, we have everybody in line here. Thank you, Wendina.
Thank you, everyone. Just as a reminder, that Ready Navajo County form that was passed out, once you have that filled out, please turn that into your local fire station. They'll know to turn it into our Navajo County Emergency Manager, Mary Springer, who's here with us. Mary, you want to wave at the crowd? And now we'll go into our questions. Who has a question? And then our incident commander and team will be able to answer your questions. I'll turn the time over to them. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Could somebody give us a AM, FM radio station that we could listen to that would possibly put out the information on immediate and what's going on with everything? And is there a dedicated TV channel dedicated to that information? That's my two questions.
95.7 is one, and that one,
Rewind 108.
Rewind 108 FM,
iTalk 106.7 FM,
iTalk 106 FM,
106.7.
oh, 106.7, I apologize, that's 106.7 FM iTalk.
White Mountain Independent website?
And White Mountain Independent has a website that you can go to their website and they have links there. This will be recorded and you can watch that anytime, or you can refer it to your family, wherever they are that are asking about the White Mountains. They can watch this broadcast today on that link on White Mountain Independent. So thank you, and next question.
The follow-up was, thank you for that. And if those of us that are on pre-evac, what would be the first thing we would listen to? The radio station, the TV, or what?
Radio.
Every radio station would have the information of evacuation status. And again, re-emphasizing, that does not come until this gentleman makes that call. He's the incident commander, and if that happens, then all the radio stations are covering it, and of course, White Mountain Independent will also be covering that. So listen to your local radio stations, and they're all available to assist in that notification.
Thank you.
This is for Rick. Is the fire still pretty active on the south end, and where are the lines that you are working on that that you said you were working on about 2 days ago?
Okay, so yes, the fire is still very active on the south end. It burned actively till very early in the morning, and first thing when the sun started hitting on it, it started heating up again. We are putting some lines just directly south of that. We're opening up and prepping the road that we started burning last night to keep it from going further south towards the Cedar Creek communities. And then as well, we are starting down some road systems a little further to the east. And as well, we're making sure that as a last defense, we can hold it to the east side of 60 and the north side of 73.
Additional resources were requested yesterday. Have they been approved, and when will they arrive?
Yes, we've received our additional resources, and just to summarize what we got 21 crews, 7 helicopters, but 2 of those helicopters are, on standby for also initial attack activities, 37 engines, 7 dozers, and that equals about 770 folks that we currently have out there and present at this time.
Excuse me, Dean Dago, I'm going to say this in Apache to the people that are here, our tribal delegates. Hatoa ana jata kura meeting arasat. Day one na hatoa doha McMary Kalhanda community people lisa rasasara. Diko orokans o zeratala state. Hayu orokans nufin deram strini northeast, southwest, northwestern nisha yadoburam stira. Ku tunastuzayu ku tis nampage ku diko darustyuta. Diko nufitsa haras ila state. Han de song be Facebook da lira on de ha song be computer da lira on. Ako communicate arasni. Day one evacuation, pre-evacuation for McMary and Honda. Honda uzena hatuma beha kura meeting na faara sasara. Rodeo Chesky fire not we had a map like that. Kura Honda Casino beanya service station yet. Nico map das tools. Gwendina was worried about Sholo. No fee I have a parent that grew up in Forestdale. I was worried about Forestdale. My parents are buried in Forestdale. I have a grandbaby that is buried in Forestdale. You'll be one worried. The hard she family not buried in Forestdale. There are other people there. The other day, not pre-evacuation of what about Cedar Creek right now? Where are you guys at? How come you're not saying anything for Cedar Creek? The people in Cedar Creek have pictures down in their backyard. Pre-evacuate. How come no email has been put on the tribe's email to say you people from Cedar Creek that live in Cedar Creek need to go home. You need to be ready.
Good afternoon,
not all of us are rich. other day, Housing Authority came and said we had to leave. When those ladies came, I had to call family members to tell them, come up and help me move out of my house. Not all of us have access to that. Don't Jonah, no speed in there, Foxy, you are a councilman for District 4. District 4 is Honda and McNary too. The Sholo, Honda, McNary, right. I have a councilman right here. He should be informing his people in Cedar Creek. He's here today. Come on, that's the green day on skinny on the fat burner. I don't know what's sick. Don't we help make Cholo. We help make Pine Top. We help make Lakeside. Every 2 weeks when we get paid, where do we go and spend our money? Why, remember IHS people go up here to spend money to make this a community, a city for Sholo. Anna, what about us? Anna, I've been at the house. Pre-evacuation, Steve. Nasitan. I had a little boy that stopped me in the neighborhood. Are you being evacuated too, Shishti? If we get evacuated, Hayurikai, where are we going? He didn't know. I told him, I said, we were told we were going to go to Snowflake. What about that brush fire that took place in between there? If we were to go on Hayuri, Carrizo, Yui, what have you done for the Carrizo people? Who is going to help those people from Carrizo? Not all of them are well off. I have family from Carrizo. Carrizo, yet come Dan Shmini, I've been living up here at McNary. I went through this with the rodeo Chescott fire too. When the staff from housing came, they didn't know. What do we do? What do we put on our doors? What do we put to say that we did leave? Oh, I'm really sorry, but that wasn't discussed in the meeting. Really? Come on.
Let me make a response to you at this time. As PIOs and as people who work with the tribe, we have standing and have been a big part of this team. There's a lot of running parts to this. Every part has to run smoothly. Carrizo, Cedar Creek, pre-evacuation at AE, Donna, Ku, radio, be cut 6 times, be cut my lessons, We've been on Facebook, we've been on the radio over 6 times yesterday. Myself and Wendina as PIO have been on the radio and have even did a mobile. We did so many mobile communications with KNB throughout the duration of yesterday. Council members are here because we want to be a part of what the community thinks and with the questions that they do have. There's a lot of stuff to this. We cannot meet the demands of every single person. There are 17,000 tribal members, but we cannot meet the needs of every single one of them. We have been out there to introduce to the community what's going to be happening. We have been going out there and letting the people know. The Emergency Operation Center has also been in effect as well. So when these things do happen, should evacuation happen, that's when we're going to initiate these things. But in the middle of all of it, we cannot start mass chaos because that's going to hurt more individuals than it will save lives. Thank you.
Just to clarify for you, Cedar Creek did not go into pre-evacuation until this morning. That was at 8:30, and I understand you're upset. I sympathize with you, but this was a meeting that was already established by our members here. That's how we run the operations. And they were invited to come here, and they also are welcome to listen to the live radio broadcast on KNB, so they are listening. And we're open to going to KNB later to do another broadcast. And just to clarify my role in this public information officer position, yes, I did grow up in Sholo. I grew up there ever since I was a little girl. My parents are buried there, and I'm also a tribal member. I have to play the role of public information officer, doing my duty